I should have thrown the doll away the night I first saw its eyes move. It was late. My apartment was silent, except for the hum of the fridge. I had left the strange Labubu doll sitting on my shelf, its wide grin frozen in place, those glossy eyes reflecting the dim light. I looked up from my phone and caught its head tilted, just slightly. I told myself I was tired, imagining things. But the next night I heard something worse, a faint scratching at my bedroom door. When I opened it, the hallway was empty, except for the doll, sitting upright on the floor. No one else had a key. No one else had been inside. That was when I realized the doll wasn't just strange, it was alive. My name's Ethan. I live alone in a small apartment just outside Chicago. I've never been superstitious, never believed in ghost stories or cursed objects. But a few months ago, I found myself wandering into a dusty old toy shop hidden downtown, forgotten between two boarded-up stores. That's where I first saw the Labubu doll. Oversized head, sharp teeth curled into a grin, big staring eyes that seemed to follow me no matter where I stood. The shopkeeper sold it cheap, said it was special. I laughed, took it home, thought it'd be a funny conversation piece. But soon, I noticed things. The doll never seemed to stay where I left it, and every night my apartment grew colder, shadows stretching longer, as if the doll had invited something else inside. The first real sign came on a stormy night. Rain hammered against the windows. Thunder rolled across the city. I was scrolling on my phone when a sudden crash jolted me. The doll had fallen from the shelf, or so I thought. I picked it up, brushed off the dust. Its grin looked wider somehow, sharper. I placed it back, muttered, "Stay put." But the second I turned my back, I heard it, a faint creak of movement. I slowly turned, my chest tightening. The doll was now facing me. I froze, my breath caught in my throat. It had been turned toward the wall before. The lights flickered and went out. Darkness swallowed the room, and in that darkness I heard whispering. I told myself it was stress, lack of sleep. I lit a candle, set the doll down again, forced myself to laugh, but the laughter sounded hollow. That night I woke around 3 a.m., my chest pounding. I'd heard it again, movement, fabric dragging softly across the floor. I grabbed my phone flashlight, scanned the room, and froze. At the foot of my bed, the Labubu doll sat upright. My blood turned cold. I hadn't moved it. Its glassy eyes reflected the light. I grabbed it, shoved it into the closet, slammed the door shut. But as I lay back down, the scratching started. The scratching grew louder, more frantic, like claws on wood. I crept toward the closet, my hand trembling on the knob. Silence. I yanked it open. Empty. The doll was gone. I spun around. My stomach dropped. The doll sat on my kitchen counter, grinning, watching. The candle sputtered, shadows lurched, and behind me, tiny footsteps ran across the floor. I grabbed the doll, hands shaking. "You're just a toy," I muttered, but its fabric was ice cold. I stuffed it in a garbage bag, tied it tight, shoved it down the building's trash chute. Relief. Finally. But not for long. A hollow thud echoed in the hallway. Then, dragging sounds. Something was climbing. When I opened my door, the bag sat at my doorstep, torn open, and the doll was waiting. Every night it found new ways to torment me. Whispers, vanishing, reappearing. I set up a camera while I slept. The next morning, my blood ran cold. At 2:57 a.m., the doll slid across the floor. On its own. Then a pale hand, long and skeletal, reached from the shadows. It adjusted the doll's head. I smashed the camera in panic, but that night, the broken pieces lay neatly on my bed, and beside them sat the doll. I dug online, searching desperately. Stories of cursed Labubu dolls, not toys, vessels for spirits. The owners all described the same things: scratching, whispering, families destroyed. None ended well. That night I made a salt circle, lit candles, whispered prayers. The air grew heavy, flames bent sideways, and then the doll's head jerked upward. Its voice, shrill and childlike, whispered my name. Ethan. I couldn't take it anymore. I stuffed the doll in a box, drove to Lake Michigan in the pouring rain. Waves roared. I hurled it into the black water, screamed until my throat tore. Watched it sink. Relief. Finally. Free. But when I returned home, the floor was wet, puddles leading to my room, and on my bed, the doll sat, soaked, dripping, its grin stretched wider than ever. That night, I snapped. I grabbed the doll, screaming, "What do you want from me?" The lights flickered, the grin split open, and something began to crawl out. A skeletal figure, pale and twisted, unfolded itself from the doll's tiny body, towering over me, its face eyeless, grinning. Whispers erupted, a chorus of voices. It reached for me. I slashed with a knife. The blade passed through. Its rancid breath filled my lungs, and in a voice that rattled my bones, it whispered, "You let me in." Darkness swallowed everything. I woke in bed, sunlight streaming in. Maybe it was a dream. The doll sat harmlessly on the shelf. Just fabric, just stuffing. But then I looked in the mirror. I wasn't alone. Behind me, grinning, with hollow eyes, it stood, waiting.